This video will cover numbers 12, 13, and 14 on the final exam review for chapter 4. And in number 12, we're going to graph the function. Now, it says graph using a table, but we didn't really use a table when we graphed this. We used our calculator, but what we're going to do is we're going to graph this function and then find all the key features and graph this function as accurately as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and into my y equals, I'm going to type this function. Okay. I'm going to graph it. I might have to adjust my window. Yeah, I can't quite see these local maximums and minimums, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So when I'm going to graph this on my paper, I want to make sure I find accurately the zeros and then the local max and the min. Okay. And once I get these 5 points drawn, I'll be able to draw my function pretty accurately. So remember, to find the zeros, I'm going to go to my second calc option, go down to zeros. Okay. And I'm going to move my cursor to the left side and the right side of this first zero. And this is at -2, 0. So I'm going to put that on my graph. And that is one of my solutions, right? The solution are my zeros. And so I'm going to go ahead and put -2 here for part D. That's going to be one of my solutions. Okay, I'm going to find my other zero, the second one in the middle. I get 1, 0. And so another solution is 1. And I'm going to find my last zero. And I get 4. So now I'm going to get the local maximum and the local minimum. So to remember to do that, you're going to go to second calc. And I'm going to go to maximum to find that first local max. So I'm going to put it on the left side and the right side. And that's at approximately -0.73, 10.39. So really close, right about here. I'm going to get this one as well. But I have to go to minimum this time because that's a local minimum. And I get 2.73, -10.39. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead, once I have these, I'm going to go ahead and make my curve. Okay. All right, I just need to go back and answer these questions. Okay. So what is the degree? The degree is the highest exponent, that's 3. How many solutions were there? There were 3, right? We had 3 zeros. I've already listed the solutions. The leading coefficient is this a value, that is 1. And we're going to describe the end behavior. So first, let's look at what's the graph doing as x approaches positive infinity. So as x goes to positive infinity, as we look this way on our graph, my y values increase forever. So they go to positive infinity as well. As x goes to negative infinity, so as x gets smaller, my y values decrease forever. They go to negative infinity. All right, 13, write a polynomial function f of least degree that has rational coefficients, a leading coefficient of 1, and the given zeros of 6 and -4. So remember, if 6 and 4 are the zeros, I can use those to write this polynomial in factored form. So it has 2 zeros. So in factored form, f of x would look like x minus 6. Remember, in factored form, it's the opposite sign of the 0, and x plus 4. But we're not going to leave it like this. We're going to expand it and write it in standard form. So I'm just going to multiply these things. So you can either multiply using FOIL, or you can always make a 2 by 2 box. Go ahead and multiply and combine your like terms. So my final answer is this can be written as x squared minus 2x minus 24. In number 14, we're going to write a polynomial function f of least degree that has rational coefficients, a leading coefficient of 1, and the given zeros 2i and negative 7. So this one's similar to number 13. However, we know that if your 0 is imaginary or it's an irrational number, like the square root of 2, for example, if the positive value, positive 2i is a 0, the negative value 2i is 0. So if 2i is a 0, I also know that negative 2i is also a 0. Okay. And so what this means is this function actually has 3 zeros. Remember, that's not true with just rational numbers. So negative 7 does not mean that positive 7 is a 0. So I'm going to start how I did before. I'm going to write this out in factored form. So it's opposite sign, remember. So my factors are x plus 7, x minus 2i, and x plus 2i. But I'm going to go ahead, again, I'm going to expand this and write this in standard form. You want to make sure that you multiply your factors that have i's in them first. Okay. So I'm going to make a 2 by 2 box and multiply. Two I times negative 2i is negative 4i squared. Remember, however, that I squared, that is the same thing as negative 1. So this is negative 4 times negative 1. So this box is really positive 4. So now when I go to combine like terms, those terms cancel. And this becomes x plus 7 times x squared plus 4. And so one more time I have to use the box to get this in standard form. So I'm going to do x plus 7 times x squared plus 4. And so my final answer, f of x, can be written as x cubed plus 7x squared plus 4x plus 28.